You have to have your heart on board in order to be a big achiever and to succeed on realizing your mission in life.
Welcome to the Super Clinic Project Podcast, where we take regular clinic owners and turn them into cash-based multimillionaire entrepreneurs. Warning, if you're a doctor who listens to this podcast regularly, you will make millions of dollars. Do not listen to this podcast unless you want to be a successful clinic owner who helps thousands of patients achieve their health goals and adds more money than you can imagine to your bank account. You've been warned.
Welcome to the Super Clinic Project Podcast, where we take regular clinic owners and we turn them into super clinic owners. I'm one of your hosts, Jennifer Gligoric, and today I am here with a guest who's a chiropractor, best-selling author, and mind and body expert. He's helped almost 5,000 clients around the world, U.S. and Europe, for over 28 years get out of pain. He's best known for helping ambitious entrepreneurs, though, break the cycle of their limiting beliefs to truly have an optimized life and business. So let us give a big super clinic welcome to Dr. Alain Salas to the show today, or Alan, as he's told me he is. Hey, how are you doing?
Bonjour, Jennifer. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. I was listening to an incredible testimonial from a client that you helped through pain who had cancer. And the reason I like that testimonial, she's here in the Houston area. And so I didn't realize that you had patients down here. So she was a Houstonian.
Yeah.
She went through breast cancer and you had really helped her so much. And she had given you an incredible testimonial. I was listening to that first and foremost. So tell our audience about your journey to go from being a chiropractor, helping people, thousands of people out of pain, to moving into the space where you realize that really it's the mind and body connection that is not helping people reach their truest potential.
Well, it's kind of like, Jennifer, I'm a normal guy, right? I try to find some solution for my problem, right? He ended up that, when I had that big clinic I was seeing 250 patients a week, right? And I had 4 employees and we were checking your inflammation, right? And what's going on and giving some advice about, some plan of what to eat, food sensitivity and things like that. And within a year, I saw myself divorcing, because I was so focused on my business so that I got burned out. And when I was coming home, I was there, but I was not really present with my family. And so you know how it works, right? And when you've got a young daughter, like she was 6 years old, or 7, that's a divorce is never a handshake. So I become depressed on top of a burnout. And so my practice went from thriving to failing, and being by myself in that big office, right? I had 8 treatment rooms. And anyway, so on top, what happened also on top of that, I ended up, being diagnosed with early stage of colon cancer. So here I am, living the American dream, and within a year, ending up basically broke in my office, living in my office. Right? So it was a gorgeous office. I had a shower, I had everything. But that was kind of a problem and challenge for me. And so, but I know deep inside that there was something pushing me to sabotage my health, to sabotage my relationship, and literally to sabotage my prosperity, right? So I went on a quest, just to find out what the heck happened, right?
Well, yeah, because it was, you had done quote unquote everything right, became a provider and a worker, and you were working, but somehow that American dream, and this happens to lots of docs. That's all we do here is we work with clinic owners, and they have these aha moments. Not all of them are living in their office, after every, dealing with major illness. That's a lot. So when you went on your journey, tell us a little bit about that and then what you're doing now.
Well, I was satisfied to say that, with treating people physically, right? I created my own energy technique. I became a cranial specialist. And with inflammation, which is the chemical stress. So physical stress, I was kind of pleased what I was doing. The chemical stress, I think I had that under control. I was able to cure my cancer, by supercharging my body with oxygen. I created different things to do that very cheap. And after, the next was the mind, right? I mean, it has to be the mind. My mind, was kind of against me. I felt at time. And so I started to study the mind-body connection, right? So I really specialized on that. And what I found about the mind is, like I said, it's mind-blowing, right? We talk about the mind, but we don't really know what we're talking about. And so we've got we're living in two different worlds, two separate different worlds, and in the same time. So we've got the outer world, and the outer world is basically our conscious mind, who we think we are, what we are aware of, right? It's the conscious mind with this, that where our desire are, right? And so let's see, if I want to reach my goal to be in a super clinic, right? So that's my conscious mind activated, right? And so it's how you perceive also your reality, right? It's what you're aware of, basically, your thought, your emotion, your behavior, and your action. And after, there's another mind that is hidden, that is very mysterious, right? And we're going to call it, to make it simple, keep it simple here, the subconscious mind. And that subconscious mind, we don't really know what the heck is going on there, right? And that subconscious mind basically record, Jennifer, everything you have been doing in your life from age 0 to now. Also, that subconscious mind is where all your skill as a podcaster, as a clinic director, whatever skill you need, are also stored in that subconscious mind. Also, all the automatic process in your body that you don't have to think about, like breathing, your heartbeat, your digestive process, your digestion, and everything is stored in your subconscious mind. And more than anything, what I discover is we are all programmed. You have been programmed. I have been programmed. Everybody listening to that program has been programmed. And so you've got programs that are serving you, and you've got programs that are not serving you any longer and can sabotage your health, your relationship, your prosperity, and that can prevent you to reach your goal.
So how do you even get to start with deprogramming yourself, especially if it's subconscious and you don't even know you're doing it? Like, for example, I do an exercise with clinic owners when they first come in, and I have them tell me, describe your funeral for me. And I want you to project out, you're at your funeral, who's there? What are they saying about you? What is the legacy you want to leave for your children, the people that are there? And they describe that. And then we'll walk it back. Okay, so what did you do today that's going to help you hit that goal? Because most people are like, my children are going to say, I'm a great dad, I'm a great mother, and they learned a lot from me for this, and blah, blah, blah. And then when I see what they're doing in the day, they're spending almost no time at all with the children or with the husband or with these people they want to make these major things with. And they think, well, once I get this business going, and really what they're doing is email or fulfillment. They're not even directing the business. They're just stuck in the day-to-day, and they're just spending all the time. So then I say, well, those people must not really be the most important things in your life or your health, because you spend no time on that, right? And it's always this big disconnect, because that's not how they feel. They feel in their heart that those are the most important things, their health and their family, but yet their actions, there is some major, and I believe it must be unconscious, disconnect between what they actually end up doing almost mindlessly, So how do you deprogram that?
Well, first of all, if I may make some input about what you're just saying,
Mm-hmm.
Legacy is basically what people will remember from you, right? What they remember, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say purpose is very important, because the purpose is why you're doing what you do. And that's your fuel, that's your essence, right? That's the energy, right? That's going to make you, achieve, whatever your purpose is, right? When you understand that you've got your mission in life, right, and you find out what it is, you're not working in it. It's not a job, right? It becomes like I don't know how to call that, like a mission, like.
Yeah, so many people are disconnected from their purpose.
Yes.
They're very disconnected, yeah.
And what I have to say, the purpose is not, I want to make $5 million.
No.
That's a goal. That's a goal.
Yes.
A purpose is why. Why is coming from your heart. why it's what when you like follow your heart to achieve things, right? You have to have your heart on board in order to be a big achiever and to succeed on realizing your mission in life. So the purpose is very important, but what you have to know also, what makes things a little bit complicated, like you said, this is in the subconscious mind, right? And so when the exercise that you did, I think is very cool, right? Don't get me wrong, but it's only on the conscious mind. And when you understand, and you can Google what I'm saying right now, I mean, you will see. So your conscious mind, it's only 5 or 10% of your mind. And your subconscious mind is 90 to 95% of your mind. So meaning when we want to heal, we want to transform ourselves, achieve our goal, and be successful, we use only 5 or 10% of our manpower. So I thought to myself, why not, bringing the subconscious mind to the party and use 100% of our manpower? Carl Jung, he was a psychologist, like very renowned psychologist. He needs what you need to do is just to bring the subconscious conscious. And that's what the mind clearing is about. It's like it's about speaking the same language by your subconscious mind and having a conversation and say, hey, buddy, I don't want this. I want this instead. And I want to make sure that this is going to manifest and I'm going to create that into my life.
So what are some tips you have for people who are wanting to just start to try to do this in their own day to day? They're, what if someone's listening to this right now and they're sitting there going, man, am I really working on my purpose? I became a chiropractor because we have, a huge ton of our listeners are chiropractors or med spas, but, weight loss, they're all clinicians who started a business and they've broken away from the very broken healthcare system to cash pay clinics because they want to get people well, not keep them in cycles of sickness. So they had a strong purpose, but now they're burnt out because they're disconnected. So if they're like, well, how do I marry the two, my purpose and making money and getting through my day, right? How do they start that?
I can definitely, that's my example. That's what happened to me. I always been a cash practice, right?
Yeah.
But, and the thing of the matter, it's like when you burn out. So why do you burn out? Because there's too many resistance or what you want to do. So the thing when you want to achieve a goal, you have a preconceived idea, right? How you're going to do it, right? You're going to say, I'm going to start to do that. I said, well, the first thing you need to do when you start a goal, according to my findings, is you want to make sure that your subconscious mind is not working against you, right? So if your goal, for example, is to have that's your goal, $1 million clinic, that's B, A, that's your current reality, right? From A to B. So if between A and B, you've got some limitation in your subconscious mind, you need to get rid of those. Right? That's the first thing you need to do. So you will reprogram your subconscious mind, delete all the limitations that are there that can prevent you to achieve your goal, right? Number one. Number two, in order to achieve a goal, why not bringing the subconscious mind to the party? So what I will say, why don't you give me an example, a goal that you want to achieve?
Okay, so I'm just going to think about a clinic. Sure. So it was an established clinic. They were at, I guess, around, I'll just say 30,000 a month. But their goal is like, we really want to hit 83,000 a month. I know that I can get there, and I'm in a big enough area. I don't live out where there's only 2,500 people. We do have a pretty good metroplex, right? But I don't know why we're not getting good patients. Everybody's on Medicare. That's some limiting beliefs I'll just put right out there. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. And so basically, you have 30,000, you want 85. Okay. So you want to make sure that we're going to delete all the limitation that prevent you, like she said, we've got only Medicare. Boom. That's what we call resistance to that preventing you to achieve your goal, right? It's what you think it's happening and limiting your expansion, right? Everything that limits your expansion, that make you think that you are not limitless, because we are limitless to be for sure. And so we will delete all that, download a new program that what you want, and after make sure that you create that, right? So we do that from 30 to 85,000. Now, regarding money, there's also lots of myth about money. So when you need to reprogram that person to make her understand that money is energy. That's all it is. We are energy. Everything is energy, but money is energy to make me. So I say, why do you want to reach that goal, right? The why is very important. The why is your heart. It's your rocket fuel, right? That makes you. So why do you want to do this, right? Uh, because I want more money to do what? To do this, and what's going to bring you? How it's going to make you feel, right? What was the thinking process about it? What will you do with that money? Right? So now you start to involve the mind at a higher level of consciousness, right? And makes you dig it. When you ask why, we call that digging, right? It's a digging technique. So you dig and dig, right? Now, of course, if you use the mind clearing, boom, we delete, download, and all that, and it's easy, but that's a good starting point, to reach your. And so if you want to practice on your own, what you do, you visualize where you are and you're not pleased, right? 30,000, it's not enough. So you visualize yourself in that way, and you feel it that way, right? You feel bad, you feel all the negative feeling, right? And after you replace that picture with a picture, you have to be in that picture for both of them, right? And you visualize yourself making it. You've got 85,000, you've got even more, why not? But let's put it 85,000 and see how it makes you feel. Close your eyes, see how it makes you feel, have a vision, maybe create even a mini movie, right? Or what's going on in your life, in different aspects of your life. What are the impact or having that money will have on a relationship, will have on your prosperity, will have even on your health, all right? Maybe it can make you like you have to work less. Who knows? You can hire somebody who's going to do things, and I don't know, whatever, all the pro that comes with making this amount of money, right? And after you want to visualize even deeper, what you're going to do with this, what you're going to do with that money, right? How it's going to change your life, change the life around you, change the life of your patient, and just to zoom out and to have a big picture and see that manifesting into your life, right? So that's something that's going to involve a little bit your subconscious mind. You're going to need lots of repetition. With mind clearing, we're talking one treatment, boom, you feel already that you can reach that goal. If you had a block, it will be lifted.
I remember speaking with someone, and it was a coach of mine, and they said, what I want you to do is I want you just for 90 seconds to think about your life, like a really happy thought of once you achieve it, and don't think about a money amount. Just think about, like, I'm sitting at a table and who's around you and how are these people making you feel? And how do you feel? Like, it would be like, I've just finished a great day and I feel like I made good impact, and I want to go out to a restaurant, and I'm not worried about how much the restaurant costs or anything because I have more than enough money in the account, and I go to see my friends and they're really happy to see me, and I sit down and I feel really happy, and that they think I'm somebody, smart and, intelligent. We have an intelligent conversation, and the wine is flowing, and just think about something like that for only 90 seconds, right? And then be done with it. And then because you've got to go and answer the phone or do something in your work, but make it a habit that when you get down or you feel like, let's say you tried to close someone and you're talking to a patient who needs your services. It's obvious that they're going to need this type of treatment, and they just look at you and go, well, if Medicare won't pay it, I won't do it. And then you try to ask them and say, well, but you said you wanted to be here, and Medicare will only pay you to get way over here. So how, we can work with you. We have financing, we have this, but we can get you where you want. And they're just like, no, I will stay sick, right? Those are not great conversations, but they do happen. Some people are like that, right?
Sure.
And so there is a way for you to be able to go, okay, but let me give you some stuff and to stay positive, because that person may come back later, right? But then you're going to meet someone else. You have another day too, right? That someone just walked in your door, and you have to maintain that energy up. And so they were like the 90-second rule, because what people do is they get energetically down and they start thinking, oh, why aren't these people listening? They're just, it's like they're indoctrinated. It's like they're this and they're never going to get better. And before you know it, you're so negative, your rest of your day, which could have been brand new patients that would have been so happy, they fed off of you. So I think that you're right. When you were saying that, I was like, it reminds me of that advice. And I have to tell you, that advice has really helped me a lot in my own life and many things, because there were times I'd walk away from a conversation with someone and I would think, why didn't I say this? I could have told him this and this and this, and it was kind of negative. I should have said this and I would have done this. And I would spend so much time on it and it would feel like I had energy, but it was all the wrong energy, right? And so I, had to really work to stop myself to actually daydream good dreams instead of drama dream, the bad things, of how it can spiral down. And before you know it, I'm broke under a bridge and the rats are eating my toes. Because nobody, you can go to that when you're in a worry place. So tell me a little bit about, so when you're doing this and seeing challenges or obstacles or setbacks or even roadblocks in front of you, how are other ways besides that you can remain excited to go to work and work on your purpose?
Well, when you understand, when you got that mindset, first of all, I want to say about what you say, that's very true, but it's still, compared to the mind clearing, imagine when you've got a program, it's not working on your computer, you delete the program, you go to the Play Store, and you get a program that's going to really fit your needs. And when you're going to see on your screen of life, you say, wow, that's really, I've got all the stats that I wanted, that's it. That's what I'm talking with the mind clearing, right? So it's so much faster because you delete that program, you download a new program instead of what you want, and after you can create what you've got in your life. So we will use this technique, like you mentioned, to make sure that we still this create the fire. So this technique that you mentioned, this will put love into your fire to maintain that fire, right? To keep it burning. But really what creates the fire, right? It's the mind clearing technique, right? To really tap into the subconscious and say, buddy, that's self-sabotage, we're done with it. If you talk about cells, there's a pyramid that describes the cell. On top, you've got, because we have been learning script and things like that, that script is at the top of a pyramid. Your body language, is a little bit below, the tone of voice and all that. You know what is at the base of the pyramid? Is your deep inner state. So if you can reprogram your deep inner state, you will have that domino effect that everything come easy. I mean, everybody can learn a script. Why people are more successful than others is like, if they believe in what they do, right? I mean, the belief, right? If your beliefs are not limited and you truly believe in what you do, that you're going to help some people, that's the number one ingredient. And this starts in your subconscious mind. So we can reprogram that. Look how powerful you are. And after, it's all a piece of cake. Even if you don't have a very good script, you'll be able to, or if you forget about the script, but because of, the people say that what they retain from a talk, it's 5 or 10%, right? Yeah. But what makes the difference? It's your body language, it's your passion, it's like the energy that you've got with it, and that's how they will be either impressed with you or say, even if what you say is wonderful, but we say, oh, I'm not interested, and other people will be interested. So it's much more, think about, like when you do like the tone of voice, body language, it's only 5 or 10%, that's your conscious mind. But if you can bring that tsunami of power, 90 to 95% of your mind power to the party and have your inner state aligned to your thought, your emotion, your behavior and action, you are unstoppable.
Yeah. So you've been talking a lot about mind clearing. And guys, Dr. Salas, if you want to go and learn more, you can go to themindclearing.com, just like it's spelled THEMINDCLEARING, themindclearing.com. Can you tell us about I know that you can't go into exactly how you do all the mind clearing. We're almost at the end of the show, but can you just give me the main tenets of mind clearing?
Yeah,
Because we've talked
already.
about some tactics that go into it, but not the overreaching arch of it.
The core of it, it's like if you compare your mind as a computer, your brain is the hard drive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your software is your subconscious mind. The output of your software is your conscious mind, and your behavior is reflected on the screen of life, right? So if you change your program, you're gonna get, if you've got an output that you don't want, for example, if you are not confident when you sell, right? So what your program is making you not confident, and so subconscious mind. So what I will say you need to visualize you being totally doubtful. Oh, I'm not going to make it. That patient's not going to book with me. Is not going to sign up. And you visualize yourself being that. And after I created a literally a program that customized to you, and you're going to be the one sending the program to you in that picture. So we delete that. So usually after the deletion, which is the first step, people already they don't feel doubtful anymore. It's gone. And after the second step, you're going to visualize what you want instead, right? So the guy's going to sign. Oh, no problem, buddy. Where I need to sign? I'm really enthusiastic about signing, right? So I bet you have to be in that picture, right? And so what we do, we download, and I help people to customize their program to their picture, right? And we download that. And after, we want to make sure that you create that into your life, that you literally see yourself making it, right? Whatever your goal was, right? And we download that, right? And so that's the mind clearing. For the goal, you take one step goal, and all the things like the step within a week. For example, you call 10 people, right? And only 2 answer, and one brush you up. So it's kind of, you say, I don't like that, right? So whatever you don't like, we're gonna delete that, and that's gonna take care of your resistance, which is gonna increase your clarity, your focus, and your certainty, right? And more you do that, more and more you raise your level of certainty, clarity, and focus, and easier it is to do things. You've got less and less resistance towards your goal, and so you can reach your goal faster, easier, because it doesn't have to be hard. There's a misconception, especially I'm from France, as you know, right? But in America, you say, oh, you have to play hard and work hard. Work hard. Says who? It doesn't have to be. First of all, if you know your purpose.
I love that. That is such a French thing to say, because Americans are very much like, rawr, and then the French are like, why? Why do you have to do that? And we don't know. We're cogs in the wheel that the system told us we have to be like that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like corporate America, that's what they tell you. Like that, you do extra hours and they don't pay you, right? I mean, that's what's happening, right? And so, if it's your mission, it's not a job. It's a vocation. That's the word I was looking for. It's a vocation for you. You just cannot not doing it, right? And so that gives you the fuel of energy. And after, if you've got setback and things that hold you back during your way toward achieving your goal, you do the mind clearing technique and delete all the resistance, right? And it becomes easier and easier and faster to reach your goal. And since you've got more clarity, you can course correct the way you want to do it. Your preconceived idea can change. You say, oh, by the way, I've got now this new information because I've got more clarity, right? So I'm exposed to that information and say, oh yeah, I'm going to use that, and it's going to be easier, maybe a better script, maybe you read a book that's going to help you to do whatever things that's going to come into your way and change your mind, and you can course correct and reach your goal faster and better, with better quality of life.
So how many years did it take for you to perfect this in your own life to where you knew that you could bring this out? Because, there you were in your, taking a shower in your office, you're literally working and living at the same time. You're missing your daughter, you're missing all this stuff. So then, how did it hit you? Wow, I've just done it wrong. And then, to where you are now, where you lived on your sailboat, you're around, you're helping all these people and just really getting out there.
From the first inspiration to I even have a breakthrough a month ago, right? I mean, another thing that came and really was another game changer. But basically 3 years, right? And it took me like 3 years but I knew that I was under something is when I was able to treat pain. Because pain, nobody in the limiting belief, when you Google it, what they're going to tell you, they're going to say, oh, it's about self-esteem, right? I'm not good enough. I'm too young, too old. But those negative programming, of course, we can create pain in your body. Of course, we can create symptoms in your body. Of course, we can create inflammation in your body. So now 70 to 80% of the people who experience pain, I'll be able to treat within 2 visits and the pain goes away permanently. That's how powerful your mind is. And so nobody in the field dare even try to go and treat pain with this, right? And so I really knew I was under something with that. And after I just, the way I proceed is like this. I said to myself, oh, it will be nice if I can do that. And a few months later, it happens to me. That's a kind of a way that my creativity, my muse are triggered, if you want, or I just put something into the universe and the universe answers me, right? And so I call that my insight, some things that are coming out of the blue and are part of my creativity. And because I think it's very important to be open-minded, right? And so, and before saying, no, it's not possible, I say, why not, right? Let's explore and see what's possible, right? And so that's what it took, right? And now I'm on a mission to spread out, right? So I can teach, obviously, coach and help professionals if they want to go deeper within themselves, but also if they want to help other people, to achieve a transformation, whatever it is. But also lay people, like you, for example, if you want to reach your goal, you can learn it and do that on your own because it's not complicated. There's a misconception with limiting belief. And I understand that because what they tell you, they say you need to journal, you need to do a ton of affirmation, ton of repetition. Even the visualization we described, right, was it's daily. The mind clearing is not
It's got to be a grind. If you're not grinding in a grind
That's
set, you're not going to get
exactly. That's not true at all. Because when you've got a program, you in your computer, what you're going to do? You want to delete both. You're going to trash, right? Put in the trash, delete. You're going to go to Play Store. You're going to download a program that works better for you. And after, you're going to be very pleased what you see in the screen of life. That's basically it. With a mind clearing, you will feel and your thought and your feeling and your behavior and action will be aligned. So there's no dissonance, right? It's all aligned. It's what we call coherent, right? It just flows. And of course, so much easier to achieve anything in that state, right? When everything flows. It's kind of like, I'm going to start a diet. So I'm thinking I'll start a diet. And after I've got I'm thinking, oh man, last time I started a diet, I lose lots of weight, but I getting back and get even more. So I'm not going to feel good about it. So that's it. Well, I'm not in alignment. So it's going to be hard to achieve my goal of losing 20 pounds or whatever. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does. And so you had said, I know we're going a little bit over, but that's okay. You had said that you had a major breakthrough almost a month ago. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, about the deletion process. Now, I've got 3 steps, right? While you delete, you download. You download instead what you want. And the number 3, you just basically create, right? And a part of the deletion, I knew it was missing, right? So I said, like I did like months ago, I said, oh, it'd be nice if we could bring that to things. And literally it was in my face. So I tried it on my patient and instant shift on the deletion. It means like if they've got an emotion that are bothering them, or when they look at the picture, they feel really emotional about that thing, right? It's gone after 10 minutes.
Wow, okay.
I know. And so it's gone after 10 minutes, but after we want to make sure that you still, because deleting something is not good enough. You want to make sure that you open yourself to reach the ideal outcome that you want.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, you heard it. We're talking to Dr. Alain Salas, or Alan, and you can hear a lot more about this if you go to mindclearing.com, or you can just go to superclinicproject.com. If you go to Superclinic, you click on our school, we'll have this episode, and we have a lot of great downloadables that go along with it. And for listeners that are listening, we'll have a one-time limited offer, and we'll have that there for you too, because Dr. Salas just wants to help a lot of people, and we're very excited excited that he gave us a chance to do a success goal clearing exercise. So if you want to be able to do that, then just go to school and we'll have everything for you. And we'll also have it in all the show notes. I want to thank you for being here today, Dr. Salas. It's been just an incredible conversation. And for everyone listening, please like, comment, share, but especially give us 5 stars. It's how we're able to get world-class experts like this on the show for you. So everybody, you guys have a great Super Clinic week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Okay, that was great.
You've been listening to the Super Clinic Project podcast. If you like what you hear, subscribe and stay tuned for further episodes of the Super Clinic Project podcast.